Famke, what an honor to speak with you. I have been a fan since going back to GoldenEye. We'll talk about X-Men and my personal favorite Nip Tuck, but Amsterdam Empire sees you in this leading role. I get to see you just be the absolute star that we know that you are. How does it feel to finally get this position to show off your talents in this wonderful starring role?
Well, thank you foremost. And then I would say about time. I've been doing this for a really long time. I've done about 80 films and projects at this point in my career over a 30-year, span. So I've worked incredibly hard. I've not always chosen the easiest path because I wanted to, especially after GoldenEye, I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to be typecast and that I would, try to create longevity for myself. So I opted for smaller independent films and roles and all of that. So I've taken the long way. I definitely didn't take the highway. I was on the little roads off, the beaten path, doing my thing. But it was creatively very fulfilling. And, most importantly for me, I kept my privacy, which has been always the most important to me. For most people, I think they're very happy to be in the limelight and in the press or online or just visible. I've
Mhm.
just never been that comfortable in that. So for me, it's more that acting as a creative outlet. And so I'm incredibly grateful for all the opportunities I've had. And now the fact that I'm on, in the series as the lead, that I'm also an executive producer, that I co-designed my costumes, and that I did a music video that we have coming out. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and I'm so excited about it.
I love seeing that this has become your baby in so many ways. And like you said, you took that path to get there, but it was worth it. One,
Yeah.
getting out of the celebrity drama in the middle of celebrity drama in 101. That was a smart decision for you. No, and I love to see you're here. And then with Betty, she's one of those characters that I think makes us love watching TV. She has a little bit of everything, a little crazy, a little fun, a little sweet, and also you get to be funny as well. What was it about it when you first saw the script that you were like, this is something for me?
There were a couple of parts where I thought, okay, I'm on board with this woman. I get her anger. I get how hurt she is. I get how misunderstood she has been, and I get where this journey could go. So let's do this. But I also knew at that moment, and that's one of the things I spoke to Nico, our showrunner who's from Belgium, about, is that I was very adamant we cannot make her angry. And that being, the trigger that's going to sort of push us through this entire series, because it's not realistic, and that anger comes from somewhere, and it comes from deep hurt. And I think anyone can identify with being cheated on, but then being cheated on publicly when they're known, and then there's also the fact that he's now, has impregnated another woman, and it's just so deeply, deeply hurtful and painful. And I said, I just want to make sure we see those. So the good part about being an executive producer on this one, I just had a lot more influence than I've had been able to have in the past. And so it was a great opportunity to just really, create Betty in the way that I wanted to. And then initially, I wasn't even going to design my costumes or co-design them, but it just started happening because I had such a clear vision of who she was and and because the clothes were telling so much about her journey and her personality and her reluctance to grow older and her reluctance to let go of that past of, with her one hit wonder and like all of those things and screaming for attention with I mean, I should be talking right now with these bright colors, but just, I'm probably still have some Betty in me right now. Um,
Well, you look fabulous though, and I think that also goes well with this character. When did this kind of love of fashion begin? Was it going back to your days of modeling for Saks Fifth Avenue, or is this even further back than that? Has fashion been something you've always been connected to? Because the fashion in the
Anyway, I
series
I
is
was a model for many, many years,
mhm.
and Saks Fifth Avenue, I don't even remember, but I literally worked for Valentino, Saint Laurent. I mean, you
You've
name it,
done
all the big ones.
everything,
I
yeah.
was there on the shows. I had the cover of Vogue L like a gazillion times and like all of that. So yeah, I fashion has been part
Mhm.
of me for a long time. And I love it as a creative expression. And I find more and more that because we live, in 2025 and anyone can buy anything anywhere online on, in a shop or whatever. And it's to be unique and authentic has become more and more difficult because, before maybe if you had more money or you could travel, or you could go to Japan or you could find like unique little pieces or whatever, it was one thing, but now anyone can get anything. So it's, I find it to be the most important thing right now in my own style of dressing is I just want to be, that is a part of my creative expression, who I am, and I don't want to look like anyone else because I don't feel like anyone else. So I want to express that way, and it's creative. Like this dress, for example, that I'm wearing right now, I just added all these butterflies to just go like, oh, I just want to make something else out of this dress, and so that's what I do with my free time. Or even when I don't even have free time and I should be memorizing my lines. Like right now, I'm starting a film in Bulgaria in 2 days, and I'm creating this
Putting
and other
butterflies on your
clothes.
dress. You know
What?
what? I love that passion again, just throwing butterflies on the dress when you should
I
be doing,
know.
but again, it's that love of fashion. Now, one last question I have for you is, we're switching back to Dutch for here. You're filming in your hometown. Tell me about returning to this. Was it more comfortable, or did you have a feeling of going, I gotta get this right? It could go one or two ways, it seems.
Oh my God, life is always like that. It can go one or two ways, but yeah. So I think I mean a little bit of both, but also going, I know it's a different culture. And, for people who don't know anything about the Dutch, it's a very grounded, you know, people who are, they don't dream big. You're very much, you don't dress like this. You don't stand out. You don't, you know what I mean? It's very
Yeah.
normal kind of people. And so I thought, oh, it's a bit tricky because, they may go like, who does she think she is? And she, sure she's worked in America, but she's just one of us.
Yeah.
And why does she sound like this or whatever it is? So in the beginning, I thought, oh, just get that voice out of your head and just be and do. Um, and so yeah, it was, and also it's my first language, Dutch. I spoke it for the 18 years that I lived there, but I left when I was 18 to start modeling all over the world, and then came to the States when I was 22. So English is, even though it's my second language, it's the one I speak the most.
Mhm.
And so the initially I thought, oh boy, how am I, I just need to sound fully Dutch. And that became so much easier as I spent almost 8 months there. So because of, as the executive producer
Yeah.
role and all of that. And just, yeah, it was a long project to be part of. So I was fully Dutch by the time we were done for filming.
I love when you just said there about just don't be, do. I love that mentality. And that seems like what you're doing here. You're just doing, you're creating, you're being this artist. So I want to say, one, as a fan, I'm so happy to see you in this position, in this role. I'm glad Netflix allowed the show to give it its time and its moment because it is so worthwhile to see you here. So thank you, Famke, for joining me.
Oh,
It's been a time to want to speak with you again. I am a
thank you.
Nip Tuck super fan. I watch your
Oh,
season
thank
often.
you.
So thank you so much, Famke. I hope you have a
All
great day,
right.
okay?
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.